Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Gentlemen, please replace your caps. Please be seated.
For those of you that are worried about the weather, George Simonian proclaimed that it cannot rain, so it's not going to rain. Senator Fargo, members of the Board of Selectmen, former Representative Carol Clevin, members of the school committee, other invited guests, faculty members, parents, family members, welcome to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2008. At the beginning of my comments, I would like to recognize the contributions of 6 retiring Chelmsford High School faculty members: Mr. Jeffrey Hall, Social Studies; Mr. John Mostow, Mathematics and Science; Mrs. Carol Muchika, Foreign Language; Mrs. Barbara O'Keefe, Science Coordinator; Mr. Bernard Queenan, Science; and Mr. Bruce Thomas, English. Thank you for your years of service to the young people of Chelmsford. I would also like to thank those teachers and administrators who have marched with us today, particularly the advisors of the class, Eric Linsner and Derrick Genova. From time to time, I address the student body over the public address system. Not long ago, I took the microphone and said something like this: "In case you haven't heard, it's springtime in Chelmsford." I went on to explain that I wasn't happy with some recent behavior, nor with the student dress. It seems that some students believe that for every 5 degrees increase in temperature, they should shed another piece of clothing or reduce the amount of cloth. Then I went on. In case the students didn't sense my mood, I further explained, in case you can't tell, I'm not very happy. At least one person thought my comments were funny. They called me at about 2 o'clock the next morning. I answered the phone, "Hello?" Then I heard, "In case you haven't heard, it's springtime in Chelmsford." To be honest, even at 2 o'clock in the morning, I too thought it was funny. My wife didn't. Today, I could again say, in case you haven't heard, it's springtime in Chelmsford. The difference is that instead of being unhappy, I'm thrilled to celebrate the June graduation of the outstanding class of 2008. You have created a record of outstanding achievements in the academics, sports, drama, art, music, and community service. Academically, we've had a large number of students qualify for membership in the National French, Spanish, Latin, and/or Tri-M honor societies. We've had large numbers of students qualify for the new academic awards for excellence. Those recipients must be on the high honor roll for all 4 terms in the previous academic year. We also have large numbers of people earning academic award for improvement. Those recipients move on to the Dean's List for the first time, move up a category, and stay there for the entire year. We have 4 National Merit finalists, 9 commended students, and 1 recognized through the National Hispanic Recognition Program. Our MCAS, SAT, and AP test scores are more than competitive. We've distinguished ourselves competing in mock trial, science Olympiad, artificial language, robotics, calculus, DECA, and numerous other areas. Our students often enhance their education by traveling with school groups in England, France, Spain, Italy, Greece, or Costa Rica. Some 80% of our graduates will be going on to fine 4-year colleges. Another 15% will be going on to education in our community college system. 3% will go to technical schools, and the rest will join the military or the business world. In the field of sports, we have had several Coaches of the Year and Players of the Year. We have hundreds, I know that you don't believe that, but we can show you, hundreds of athletes who have made MVC All-Conference and All-Star teams. We have numerous Lowell Sun, Boston Herald, and Boston Globe All-Scholastics. We have All-Americans and Academic All-Americans. We have won league, sectional, state, New England, and national titles. In art, we always have winners in the Boston Globe Scholastic Art Competition. We have significant numbers of students develop portfolios and go to art school. We always have musicians selected for Northeast District, Northeast Junior District, and all-state ensembles. Our groups successfully participate in MICA competitions and music festivals. The Winter Percussion Ensemble came in first in the state of New England. We always have a series of outstanding concerts. Our musicals are exceptional. Last year's Les Miserables and this year's The Scarlet Pimpernel both were award-winning. Our Theater Guild annually presents a student-written, student-produced, student-acted children's play. They also this year presented The Crucible and Insanity of Mary Gerard. Our community service projects are endless. Our students provide coaches and officials for all of our town youth sports programs. They provide significant support for the annual library book sale. They raise money to support programs such as Meals on Wheels and the Paul Center through the annual 24-hour relay. They provide numerous readers for the annual community read-in. They work on television crews for Chelmsford Telemedia. They work on lighting and sound crews for productions in our auditoriums. They donate thousands of dollars to the Shriners Burn Center. They run blood drives to the American Red Cross. They support the Secret Santa Fund, and the list goes on and on. If you've been listening to my comments, I've kept them general in nature, and I've not hit all the possible topic areas. However, in summary, Chelmsford High School excels, and we excel in large part due to the leadership of our senior class. Their leadership and contributions have verged on being beyond belief. I'm exceptionally proud of this class, and this entire community should be proud also. I'll now close with 2 thoughts that I often share and honestly believe. Chelmsford High School is a great public high school. And don't let anyone tell you differently. There are schools that are better than we are in some areas, but there are few that are as good across the board in areas of academics, theater, music, art, and community service. And perhaps more important than that, our students, staff, and faculty are good people who care about each other and support each other and work day after day to improve themselves and this world in which we live. Chelmsford, you have many good reasons to celebrate today. This is a good town with wonderful young people, particularly those in the class of 2008. Thank you very much. It's now my pleasure to introduce to you Amanda Meppelink, who will in turn introduce our salutatorian. Amanda.
Next September, when I step on campus at college, one of the first things I'll do is find a Katherine Tang. Someone who I work really well with in the classroom, someone with a sarcastic sense of humor, someone who is a fabulous baker, and of course, someone who loves the office. This will be a hard task to fulfill, for as I've gotten to know Katherine over the past 4 years, I have developed a great friend who will be hard to replace. Ever since our first science class together, back in the 9th grade, Katherine and I worked extremely well together. When we collaborated on projects together, we never had to finish our sentences. She always knew what I was talking about, and I always knew what she was saying. In some ways, she was like half of my brain. When I didn't understand, she did, and she could always explain the concept, so it made perfect sense. This past year, I also learned that Katherine is a great baker. We baked together quite a few times for various classes, and being at her house was always a delight. From her mom in the other room screaming at the TV during a Red Sox or Patriots game, to the delicious cookies we would make, there was always something to laugh about. Oh, and of course there is her brother Kevin. Need I say more? Besides being a great baker, Katherine is a great friend. Every day between A block and B block, we would take a lap around the second floor and tell each other about our days. Katherine was always there to listen and give advice or make a sarcastic comment that was sure to make me laugh and brighten up my day. If we weren't telling each other about our own lives, we were definitely talking about The Office. Both of us absolutely love that show. Every Friday, we would spend the first half of our day recapping the show and quoting the numerous funny moments. We were both so obsessed with the show that one day, while working on a project together, we spent the entire 6 hours quoting the show. Well, it was the day after the season finale, and a lot had happened. One of Katherine's funniest moments happened this year. It was our first day of English class, and Mr. Bartos had everyone say their name and a little bit about themselves. When Katherine's turn arrived, she got so nervous about introducing herself that she fell out of her chair. Well, it turns out that one of the desk legs was broken, but still, we'll see how her speech goes.
Good evening, friends, faculty, family, and most importantly, the graduates. Welcome to the graduation of Chelmsford High School's class of 2008. 4 years ago, as naive freshmen, we stepped down from the big yellow loser cruiser, or for the lucky few, the car of a friendly senior or dedicated parent, and into the daunting halls of Chelmsford High School. We were quick to make new friends, allies against the scary, obnoxious upperclassmen, who somehow shared our same situation, filled with fear and a strange sense of freedom. While we might have seemed naive back then, without a clue regarding the world, I believe now, more than ever, is the time to understand and accept how naive we really still are. Now it is time to say goodbye to where we have grown accustomed and comfortable. We sit here together with all the energy we can muster after the attack of senioritis, awaiting our diplomas, the final piece of recognition of our freedom. Freedom from no cell phones in class, freedom from school lunch, freedom from the indubitable certainty that there will be no toilet paper in the bathrooms, but mostly freedom to start making our own decisions. With this freedom comes the same naivety with which we entered high school. I don't mean the type of naivety of rejecting new ideas or classifying others who don't agree with you as stupid or inadequate. I mean the type of naivety that causes you to question what you don't know, the type which sparks an interest. The naivety that made us question our friends, family, and teachers, and in the end, learn about ourselves. Realizing that we are naive and we don't know everything allows us to grow, find new answers, and discover even more new questions. So embrace your naivety, question your friends, question your teachers, question your parents, as long as it doesn't get you grounded. But most importantly, question yourself. Become the kid that gets involved with absolutely everything, or just be the kid that tries and does something he loves. Have the guts and faith to try out for the debate team for as superficial reason as the captain is cute. Be naive enough to think that you can cure the world of cancer or become the next 400 hitter in Major League Baseball. Because with this naivety, you will try new things, Question what you believe to be true and false, and discover the meaning of what your life is to you. In order to learn about yourself, being naive includes being selfish. So be a little selfish and focus on yourself, because this is your chance to realize that you really do love disco music, or discover that finger painting is truly your calling in life. Now is the first time that you don't have parents or teachers watching over your shoulders, making sure you don't spend too much time surfing YouTube or watching every Law & Order marathon possible. So do what you want to do and do what you love. We finally have the chance to actually leave Chelmsford and meet new people. People who have never experienced Mr. Pasquale's Friday quiz or have never ridden down the hallways in a hovercraft. We might even find that these people are cool, and we can learn from them as much as they can learn from us. For some, this might seem like a dream come true or the scariest idea ever. But if we go out into the world with that positive naivety, we know that in the end, everything will work out. And if it doesn't, we're still coincidentally naive enough for mom, dad, and friends to teach us something new and help us through it. Whether you decide to spend the next 40 years mastering the techniques of interpretive dance or studying computer science, it all comes down to one thing. This is your life to live, so realize that you'll never know it all, embrace your naivety, and start living. Congratulations, class 2008, and good luck in all that you may do. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to invite Sarah Rummel and James Deegan to come to the podium to introduce your class president.
When we entered high school as freshmen 4 years ago, we each had our own traits to define who we were.
Some were known for their athletics, other for their academics, but other were known for their unique personalities. One particular person we all have come to know and love was first known as the curly-haired kid who loved movies and had a knack for French. I've known Jeff for the majority of my time in school, but it wasn't until I shared an English class we became good friends. My time in high school would be far different without his influence on me.
But now, as seniors and with 4 years of memories, we might know him as that kid who dressed up as the communist unicorn for Halloween. But better yet, we all know him as our dedicated and caring class president, Jeff Goulet.
On behalf of the class of 2008, I would first like to present Principal Thomas with the class gift. We are presenting him with a podium for the Performing Arts Center and new American flags for every classroom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On behalf of the staff and students of Chelmsford High School, it's my pleasure to accept these gifts. Thank you very much, class of 2008.
Would Michael S. Crafts, the president of the class of 2009, please join me at the podium? Michael, please accept this gavel, symbolic of both your office and the great traditions of Chelmsford High School. Cherish your role and safeguard our traditions. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff, and congratulations to the class of 2008. You've achieved many things, academically, athletically, and creatively. In the upcoming year, the class of 2009 has much to accomplish in order to live up to the standards set by your class. Along with the other class officers, I will do everything in my power to help our class carry on the great tradition established by the class of 2008, as well as previous classes in CHS history. On behalf of the entire class of 2009, I would like again to say congratulations to all of you and wish you luck in everything you hope to accomplish in the future. Thank you.
Before we present our guest speaker, I just have a few words to say to the class of 2008. It's hard for me to describe the class of 2008. As a group of students, an outsider might consider us typical. We wake up each day for school. Most of us stumble into class and realize we're sensitive to light and sound, but we're totally unable to listen to what's being broadcast over the loudspeaker. We have anxiety attacks over the tests we forgot to study for, but marvel at the power of luck when we receive the grades we never thought we could get. We march to the cafeteria and partake in the afternoon feeding frenzy. We anticipate the end of each school day as if it was the longest of our lives, after which we continue the routine with activities, sports, expression, or whatever makes the cycle easier to complete. And we've produced some truly amazing results. The last 4 years have been a whirlwind of success. Our academic, athletic, and extracurricular teams have competed and consistently won at regional, state, and national levels. I'm convinced that Principal Thomas brags about our accomplishments to other principals every chance he gets. Surely there must be shouting matches between these administrators over whose math team truly deserved its winning title, or whose singers performed better in each respective musical. But I beg you, Principal Thomas, to give the other towns a break, because I've seen a slow but steady change in my peers that is far more significant than titles and bragging rights. During my time at Chelmsford High School, I've had the unique and unforgettable opportunity to witness your evolution, not only as a group of students, but as a group of people. Consider yourselves at the beginning of freshman year. Don't try to block out unwanted memories of braces, haircuts, or distinct senses of personal fashion, because it's important to see who you were then and what you've become now. If you can't seem to remember, look around you. Are you friends with the same people? In some cases, you might be, but don't forget that you aren't the only one who's changed. Personally, I see myself as a totally different person than when I first entered the school. I feel more adaptive, articulate, and capable than ever before. This collective endurance has brought us through the haze of adolescence and given us the ability to enjoy our fleeting youth while it lasts. And hopefully the passion of youth will continue to help us discover just how talented we are. Little by little, I've been exposed to the many talents of the members of the class of 2008. They extend further than the mastery of Guitar Hero or winning a rousing 30-person scavenger hunt. You are problem solvers and risk takers. You have the strength to face the constant uncertainty of this world and the maturity to accept almost intolerable pain. And I know from personal experience that at least a few of you have the power to try and to understand and look out for each other during what are undoubtedly some of the most unpredictable years a person could live through. So how do I end what will be, for some of you, my last words? Should I quote a historical figure or a well-known rock song? Should I ask you to thank Mr. Genova and Mr. Linsner for sticking around after sophomore year? Or should I just shout Seniors 08 and leave the stage? It's impossible for a person to confess everything in a few minutes on a summer afternoon, and I don't mean to condense years' worth of memories into one speech. Many of you are proud to say that these have been the best years of your lives, but for those of you who disagree, I truly hope that you understand that in the end, your lives are made up of your actions and decisions, and the value that is placed on opinions and general assumptions is determined solely by you. I hope that we can now recognize the end of one part of our lives as another part begins. Therefore, consider my words not so much a eulogy, but an introduction. Thank you.
And now I welcome to the podium Dr. Donald I. Yeoman, Superintendent of Schools.
Our honored speaker today is a 1984 Chelmsford High School graduate and a 1989 graduate of Northeastern University, where he earned his business management degree with honors and served as captain of the football team. It was during this time at Northeastern that he learned to make pizza in Boston's North End. The year after graduation, he and his brother Nick opened the first Sal's Pizza in Salem, New Hampshire. As a third grader, he said he wanted to own a restaurant when he grew up. And today, he owns many restaurants. but he is a major force in real estate development in the Merrimack Valley as well. He owns the Riverwalk properties in Lawrence, which overlook the Merrimack River, and which house his crown jewel, Salvatore's Restaurant and Conference Center. His work not only has spurred economic development through the Merrimack Valley, but has caused employment in that part of Lawrence to skyrocket. And just 1 year ago, his new restaurant, Salvatore's of Boston, opened in the heart of Boston's beautiful Seaport District. He believes deeply in giving back to the community. He serves as president of the board of the Leadership of Literacy Foundation and is a member of various other civic organizations. He is the recipient of the Boston Business Journal Under 40 Award and the Boy Scouts of America Distinguished Citizen Award. He was also the defensive line coach for the 2007 Chelmsford High School Lions Super Bowl championship team. It is with great pleasure that I give you a true champion, Sal Lapoli.
Thank you, sir. That was wonderful. Well, I'd first like to thank Mr. Genova, Principal Thomas, Superintendent Yeoman, my dear friend Angelo Taranto, and my former dean, Dean Quinn. These are the people in my life as a young man that helped shape what I am today. But more importantly, as I stand in front of you, I consider this one of my finest honors. One of the greatest gifts I could be given is to stand in front of 400 plus students and listen to what I have to say. For that, I am truly blessed. When Mr. Genova asked me several months ago if I would do this, I was shocked. I was surprised, but I was filled with great pride. I felt that this was an important day and a proper speech should be given. So I set about writing a speech. I have that speech with me today. And I can assure you in that speech, there's some jokes, there's some quotes about Whittier and Hawthorne and Emerson. And I was prepared to talk about that. But then something happened to me funny only a few hours ago. I ran into one of my athletes and I asked him, "Do you have any advice?" Because I feel no matter how old you are or how young you are, you will be able to learn every single day of your life. So I asked him, "What would you like to hear tonight?" And this intelligent young man looked at me and what seemed to be a minute stared into me. And he said, "You know, Coach, I really can't give you any advice. But if I were you, I would speak from your heart. Don't read from a speech. Look into our eyes and say what you feel." So I have to tell you, this speech that I've worked for 5 months on, I'm not going to be saying. Instead, I would like to pass on to you some of the words and some of the thoughts that I've learned at Chelmsford High School. And not just in the past few years that you've had, but the past 12 years that you've gone through. There have been many people in your life that have helped you get to this point. The faculty, the administration, the entire Chelmsford body helped you get to this point today. For that, we have to thank them. There's a lot of people that help us get here that you'll never meet, but yet they were a part of this successful day. But as I stand in front of you today, I think of some of the things that I've learned, not just in college, but through the Chelmsford public school system. I'm a believer in words. One of the words that I'm fond of is respect. I promise you, in your life, as you continue, as you get older, you will crave, you will desire, you will demand respect. In your workforce, in your family, as a father or as a mother, you will demand respect. However, you cannot command it. You have to understand, in order to get respect, you must learn how to give respect. You must give respect to the next level of education. You must give respect to your family. You must give respect to your friends. Respect. The next word I think that is important is courage. You learned that very young, but you might have not known the true meaning of it. But I promise you, you will learn. You will learn what courage truly means. Because in your life, you will come across obstacles. You will come across situations where you will need courage. You will need courage when people ask you, and I promise they will ask you not to do the right thing. At that point, you will think of courage, because it takes courage to do what the right thing is. You see, once you realize what the right thing is, it will be impossible not to do the right thing. Courage. The next word, humble. Learn that word, humble. Appreciate that word. You see, in your life, I promise you will have peaks and valleys. The peaks will be success, financially, business, jobs, more importantly, family, friendship. But you will also have valleys. The valleys will consist of disappointment, possibly failure, maybe even loss. But in your road to success, in your road to achieving your goals, and when you do, you must remember the people around you, your family, your friends, your fellow workers that helped you be successful. And when you are successful, remember to look to your left and to your right. Allow them to enjoy in your success. Do not gloat. Because when the valleys come, and they will come, and you look to your left and right, it will be the people that helped you succeed, your family, your friends, your fellow workers, that will carry you through your valleys. Humble. The next word I'd like to talk about is relentless. You know, relentless comes in all forms. Desire, passion, relentless. I choose that word. Be relentless in everything you do in your life. Be relentless in your job. Be relentless in your family and your friends. Be relentless to be the best possible father, husband, son, daughter you can be. Strive for the most. Do not quit. It is not an option. Be relentless. The next word I'd like to talk about is vision. We all have it. We all desire it. Vision. Every single day when you wake up, you hope and dream for great opportunities to come across you. That's called vision. See your vision. Work towards completion. Never stop, never quit, never give up on your vision. You know, some of the greatest memories I have in my life, I've had at Chelmsford High School. I'm blessed and honored to be asked by not only this faculty, but Coach Rich, my coach Jack Fletcher, Coach Cato, to ask. So I want to thank them for helping shape the man I am. I'd be remiss if I didn't think and thank the single most important people in my life, my family, my wife, my two children, Sal and Mary, my mother, my father, my brothers. For those are the people in my life that I owe all my success to. Remember, as you continue down your path, remember those people. Remember the important people in your life. With that, I'd like to be a little selfish for a second. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be here. I'd like to thank the Chelmsford High School football team for allowing me to be a part of their life. With that, I just want to say, God bless you. Go in success. Be passionate. Be strong. Never look back. And don't worry about failure. And best of luck. And I give a shout out to Derrick Villari. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to make Sal Lipoli a member of the class of 2008. Congratulations, Mr. Lipoli.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
I would now like to invite Preetam Choli to the stand to introduce our valedictorian. Preetam.
What's up, class of '08? All right. Today I have the special honor of introducing our class valedictorian, Kimberly Lee. I've had the privilege of getting to know Kim quite well for these 4 years. I still remember the first time I saw her. The first thing about her that struck me was her outgoing and adventurous attitude. The second thing about her that struck me was her punch. It's pretty hard, actually. Kim has been very, very helpful for me these past 4 years. She's helped me, with school and everything. And although she has been a little intimidating every now and then, she is, I'm sorry. But besides the many bruises that she's given me during my time with her, Kim has been one of the greatest friends that I've had. I've seen so many great qualities in her. Too many to describe, actually. Over our years in CHS, she's participated in more clubs than I can count. She's committed herself so much. She's given so much to the school. In Science Olympiad, where she plays with, chemicals for fun, and I hide in fear. At the variety show last year, she played an integral role in helping get it set up. Without her, it wouldn't have been nearly as great as it did end up being. And what I like most about Kim is that she always shows enthusiasm and commitment with whatever she does. She never backs off. She always makes sure that her vision is complete. And what's more amazing about her is that she's mastered the art of being both a committed friend and a student. And I know that when she goes off to MIT next year, she will have an amazing future ahead of her. Her work ethic is exemplary. She's a great person to hang around with, so I'll introduce Kim Lee right now, all right?
Class of '08, we finally made it to graduation day. But now what? Where do we go from here? You must think it's a silly question because what else but college, work, marriage, family, and probably making a lot of money? Essentially, it's settling down for a simple yet successful life. Isn't that the point? Well, that may be where most of us will more or less end up, but what matters most is how we get there. You've all heard this before. It's the journey, not the destination, that counts, because the ending destination is obviously death. For the past 18 or so years of our lives, the path has been laid out for us, whether we liked it or not. Administrators, teachers, parents, and even friends have worked so hard for us to simply to get this far. With only a slight effort on our part, we have made it to graduation. But I ask you now to look back at our 18 years of our lives. Although we all sit here today having accomplished the same thing, wasn't it how we got here that matters most? We've made friends and formed bonds, some of which will be with us to our dying days. We learned some math, science, history, and English, most of which we've already forgotten. Aren't our experiences what distinguishes us from one another? These experiences have made us who we are today. They have been embedded within us certain morals, values, passions, and desires. So how are we going to make this life meaningful? How are we going to make it more than just mundane? We paid our dues as children. We've made it to graduation. There's no longer someone taking us by the hand, guiding us to the next step in life. We have attained what we have dreamed for, waited for, worked really hard for, independence. What are we going to do with this freedom? What are we going to do with our lives so that it's not just like every other? One friend of mine said she thought of being a pilot, a fashion designer, maybe a surgeon. The list goes on and on. Another friend of mine said her life goal is to be a doctor or to marry rich. Either or, doesn't matter. While someone else said, I want to be the next Donald Trump. But I think the most honest answer that I've heard is, I don't know. We all want to make more of our lives, more than just settling down. Life is full of possibilities, and the future is completely uncertain. We all want to choose a path that will guide us to where we want to be, to our destiny. Because we don't know where we're going, because we want to make life worthwhile, I believe each and every one of us should take chances. Try something new to ensure that this life does not go to waste. travel abroad, go on a road trip, backpack through Europe, be a jock who joined the dance team, or a geek who joined a fraternity. Live life audaciously. Mark Twain once said, 20 years from now, you'll be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So throw off the bowline, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Life is too short for us to simply do the mundane of following the straight path. So I apologize to the straight-laced chair, but to do what is expected of us is kind of boring. It really doesn't hurt to stretch the imagination once in a while. I know rules and advice are meant to protect and guide us, to prevent us from being stupid. But isn't that what being young is about, making dumb mistakes? CHS and our parents have done their jobs thus far, that they can't shelter us forever. We need to fall down in order to learn how to get up. We have to endure hardship in order to recognize bliss. We need to fail in order to learn success. We need to make mistakes in order to learn right from wrong. We are at the height of our youth. It is our time to shine. But wait, are we too overconfident? Perhaps arrogant? Are we too young and inexperienced about the evils of the world? Well, I say we should be confident. We should be confident in our abilities. We should be naive about the world because that is our strength. That naivety and confidence allows us to take chances. And in turn, these chances will make life worth living. So from here on out, let's not simply follow the path expected of us. Carve a new path of our own. Live life the way we want to, even if we're not sure where that's going to take us. And if 20 years from now, we really do end up leading a boring and simple life, so be it. At least we have made the best of our time. At least we will have no regrets. At least the journey would have been memorable, exciting, thrilling, and daring. Life is merely what we make of it. Congratulations, class of 2008. Until we meet again, let's make the most of our lives.
And now, to prepare us for the conferring of diplomas, I invite Mrs. Christina H. Walsh, Chairman of the Chelmsford School Committee, to the podium.
Good evening. I'd first like to start by saying I'm extremely honored to be sharing the podium with such a distinguished group of school administrators, faculty members, and honored guests. But I am especially honored to be standing before such an impressive group of soon-to-be graduates. You are the best and brightest of Chelmsford, and we are very proud of you. One of the highlights of my job on the school committee is to hear about the numerous achievements of our students. Almost every day we receive some news of yet another award or honor received by a Chelmsford student or some special thing that they have done. Many of you have received accolades for your success in academics, the arts, sports, and many other extracurricular activities. But I would like to take the opportunity today to recognize the achievements of every senior sitting before me today. You should be very proud of yourselves. I know that whatever your plans may hold, you have a bright and successful future ahead of you. I am most impressed, however, when I hear how much our students volunteer their time to help others in our community and beyond. You volunteer through your church, local youth sports groups, the Boy and Girl Scout organizations, your school community service groups, and many of the special events that are going on in our town every year. And this is just to name a few. You may have done something as simple as help a friend when they needed you to be there. Small acts of caring and kindness are priceless. When you give your time, you may not receive any monetary or tangible thing in return, but what you do gain is the satisfaction that you've helped make our world a better place. You have learned one of the most valuable lessons we could teach you, what it means to be a good friend and a good citizen. One of my favorite childhood heroes, the late Mr. Rogers, spoke of community responsibility in a way that has always resonated with me. He said, "We live in a world in which we need to share responsibility. It's easy to say, it's not my child, not my community, not my world, not my problem. Then there are those who see the need and respond. I consider those people my heroes. I am proud to say today that you are Chelmsford's heroes." On behalf of the school committee, I wish you, the graduating class of 2008, success, health, and great happiness as you embark on the next challenge in your life. Congratulations.
Camille Marie Amato. Jessica Virginia Atwood. Jennifer Marie Balzotti. Gina Marie Bergazzi. Alicia Marie Bibo. Alyssa Marie Bongiorno. Shannon Marie Brody. Nicole Janelle Buno. Samantha Jean Callahan. Allison Michelle Carr. Alicia Lynn Carter. Megan Walsh Coughlin. Danielle Elizabeth Kucher. Jenny Claire Dawson. Lauren Marie Domenico. Colleen Elizabeth Doherty. Cassandra Dunn. Elizabeth Carolyn Erskine. Sarah Ann Fletcher. Caitlin Maureen Gallagher. Lindsay Marie Gallagher. Brooke Amy Gibbs. Brittany Elizabeth Ginsburg. Brianna Lynn Gonzalez. Jillian Ryan Greenwood. Stephanie Ann Hollowell. Laura Marie Johnson. Maya Lee Johnson. Laura Maria Kalpas. Katherine Ann Kinnett. Kelly Sarah Lampron. Kimberly Lee. Eve Kathleen Lenker. Emily Ann Madden. Michelle Elizabeth Marks. Alyssa Ann Matthews. Allison Catherine McCann. Carolyn Marie Mines. Nicole Marie Mello. Claire Melissa Morehouse. Sarah May Morse. Aditi Narayan. Sarah Elizabeth Norman. Erica Lang Omobono. Meredith Elizabeth Otto. Jessica Lynn Pasewicz. Alyssa Marie Pisaric. Molly Elizabeth Powers. Heather Lee Polkowski. Alicia Joanne Reed. Ashley Anna Richard. Sarah Grace Rummel. Ellery Elizabeth Scott. Alyssa Briere Savigny. Ashley Amber Savigny. Tiffany Catherine Sylvain. Samantha Michelle Temple. Hannah Elizabeth Waters. Caitlin Marie Hooley. Rachel Elizabeth Abbott. Megan Catherine Albert. Elizabeth Gail Arrigo. Vanessa Sydney Taylor Akshunas. Taylor Lindsay Ayotte. Danielle Lynn Barden. Alexis Bolduck. Jillian Lee Brown. Katherine Elizabeth Byrne. Shannon Elise Carnes. Brooke Dorothy Campbell. Nicole Marie Candelieri. Stephanie Cow. Angela Sophia Chow. Rachel Sandra Christensen. Elizabeth Marie Dahlgren. Sandra De Domenico. Rochelle Edith de Saint Phal. April Marie Dearborn. Lisa Marie DiDonato. Jessica Lee Disler. Kathleen Elizabeth Doherty. Elise Sabine Derville. Natalie Ann Fidel. Paige Bertini Flannery. Romesa Hanan. Stephanie Therese Hartung. Samantha Eden Hill. Amber Patrice House. Christine Lynn Hughes. Tamami Kataoka. Marcy Elena Pamela Cates. Ashley Marie Caton. Caitlin Ruth Keefe. Ashley Marie Kent. Sarah Elizabeth Klein. Alicia Paige Landry. Sarah Amber Luan. Rebecca Rose Madanjan. Hannah Barbara Mandel. Ashley Morand. Allison Rose Marsh. Caitlin Alyssa Martin. Kaylee Patricia McCabe. Colleen Patricia McClure. Lindsay Tate McCullough. Kara Shea McSweeney. Amanda Marie Meppelink. Yeshaswini Mohan. Dominique Yvonne Morgan. Hannah Katherine Moriarty. Catherine Claire Morris. Sneha Raghu Nair. Young Feng Nguyen. Michelle Lauren Olson. Susan Elizabeth Otazo. Jenna Grace Raffaello. Shay Allison Ricca. Samantha Marie Riley. Darcy Emperatriz Rodriguez. Victoria Elizabeth Davis Rousseau. Brittany Leanne Rowe. Lauren Elizabeth Ruggiero. Emily Jean Shanahan. Kristen Ann Shockley. Jessica Caitlin Smith. Shannon Kugel Story. Kristen Eva Therian. Lauren Elizabeth Trudell. Amy Chuan Sao. Catherine Elizabeth Twitchell. Callie Ann Whitney. Lindsay Renee Yeager. Alyssa Janelle Zenitz. Caitlin Elizabeth Armstrong. Caitlin Susan Aronian. Kelsey O'Neill Bevis. Heather Joy Bowen. Michaela Worthen Brown. Lisa Marie Burgess. Ashley Nicole Casey. Diana Russell Chase. Courtney Deborah Conlon. Sarah Rachel Cullen. Annika Elise Dioria. Jacqueline Ann Demery. Christina Teresa Diamond. Emily Ann Dawson. Molly Elizabeth Dwyer. Erin Francis Foley. Colleen Ann Frascarelli. Kira Ann Garvey. Rebecca Sarah Graves. Catherine Dorothy Hamilton. Kara Lillian Hain. Sarah Booth Jacobs. Alyssa Lee Kingston. Maria Susan Kotzios. Erin Elizabeth Landrigan. Marissa Margaret Landry. Jeanette Marilyn Lupoli. Jennifer Teresa Lyons. Catherine Elizabeth McCumber. Lindsay Rose Melanson. Kara Ashley Malott. Alyssa Catherine Mooney. Kara Elizabeth Morrissey. Elena Margaret Napoli. Daniela Angela Nedbalik. Kelsey Christine O'Brien. Sarah Elizabeth Payne. Asha Heather Marie Reyes. Shannon Francis Roarke. Holly Ann Robdow. Allison Ruth Roach. Elena Marie Santos. Sarah Lynn Sawyers. Alyssa Taylor Shore. Sarah Rose Simmons. Kelly Marie Smith. Leanne Michelle Smith. Katherine Michelle Tang. Colleen Teresa Terry. Lauren Emily Thurer. Jessica Marie Thistle. Mong Mary Touch. Stacy Kathy Chickless. Nicole Jeanette Ehrman. Stephanie Marie Valeriani. Jana Marie Vaughn. Jessica Lynn Velmuir. Anna Patricia Villanova. Christine T. Vo. Michelle Lee Walsh. Jenna Lillian Warren. Courtney Judith Westcott. Suzanne Lillian Whitaker. Krista Lynn Wixon. Brittany Ann Whitkus. Catherine Alyssa Weinkoop. Megan Alexandra Yauer. Richard David Annabali. Robert Henderson Briand. Christopher James Brown. William August Brown. Christopher Stewart Burns. Kyle Patrick Busby. Robert Nicholas Kakunis. Jacob Taylor Chapman. Preetham Ashok Choli. Michael Joseph Clancy. Ryan Michael Clement. Ian Childs Henry Cole. Ryan Thomas Decker. Daniel Joseph DeCoste. Michael George DeMatteis. Sean Bowen DeMatteis. Joseph Anthony Demers. Brian Mark Denovalis. Kevin John Desmond. Patrick William Donahue. Aaron Stephen Dwyer. Benjamin Fitzpatrick Elmore. Nicholas Charles Emanuel. Michael Bernard Freitas. Corey John Friel. Alexander Joseph Gagnon. James Francis Gallagher III. Kelton Douglas Gallant. Christopher John Gambon. Daniel Joseph Guay. Eric James Guerin. Nicholas Philip Hamilton. Stephen Ralph Harrow. Brian Gregory Herman. Michael Craig Hibbard. Thomas Huang. Stephen Daniel Jalbert. Edward Emery Lanou III. Keith Allen Lord. David Philip Lotto. Timothy Joseph Lynham. Stephen Edward McKinnon. Patrick John Martin. Evan John McGann. Michael Robert McGrath. Drew Joseph Metra. Samuel Howard Nelson. Kevin Christopher O'Connell. Corey James O'Connor. Andrew Thomas Palmer. Nicholas Henry Parley. Rishi Sharma Parmar. Justin Scott Perkins. Brendan Matthew Riga. John Robert Reynolds. Timothy James Rich. Randall Edward Richards. Justin William Rogers. Brian Stephen Rosa. Brian James Rossman. Salvatore Santo Russo. Timothy Daniel Sheehan. Christopher Frank Smart. J. Daniel Spruth. Michael Anthony Stewart. Ryan Jeffrey Taylor. Andrew Charles Tarosian. Benjamin Joseph Tracy. Scott Tyler Trindall. Alexander Joshua Turo. Derrick Anthony Valeri. Gotho Wainaina. Jonathan Yu. James William Zukowski. Eric John Zolkevitz. Ian Bernard Allen. Louis Cornelius Bailey. Jonathan Richard Baricelli. Corey Micah Bender. Andrew Joseph Bigger. Robert William Bricky. Derrick Jeffrey Brown. Daniel Jeffrey Bryant. Ryan Edward Buckley. Matthew Charles Carroll. John Anthony Cellini. Jonerson Chan. Alexander Benjamin Champy. Sean Joseph Deshays. Paul Deep. Justin Anthony Dries. Michael Paul Duggan. David Fay. William Alexander Foreman. Henry Fu. Michael Dwayne Galelo. Michael Robert Gerhardt. Garrett Oliver Jervis. Matthew Harrison Green. Sean Michael Green. John Thomas Heron. Timothy Sean Harrington. Noah Philip Hicks. Benjamin Charles Hillman. Jonathan Michael Horath. Matthew Walter Horath. Brad Allen Irving. John Christopher Jackson. Patrick Anthony Johnson. Glenn Matthew Cole. Nicholas David Kugler. Stephen Lamb. Kyle Patrick Larrivee. Jonathan Chi-Ho Lee. Scott Edward Martin. Zachary Ryan Mayberry. Evan Lawrence McHugh. Nicholas John McInerney. Carl Joseph Warren Mead. Patrick James Myers. Khaldoon Abdulrahman Munassar. Michael Francis Murphy. Samuel Frederick Murphy. Kevin Allen Navoychik. Nicholas Alexander Otto. Tyler Alexander Patron. Nathan Lamont Perkins. Travis Michael Paseko. Bradford Hamilton Reed. William Martin Rogers. Christopher David Roller. Corey James Ryan. Timothy Aquadro Sapienza. Patrick Joseph Scanlon. Maxwell Peter Scott. Daryl Victor Sittler. Cameron Daniel Tangway. Patrick James Walsh. Christopher Joseph Wellman. Darren Paul Zawada. Garrett Mitchell Gordon Belair. Bernard Philip Belanger. Graham Robert Berg. Timothy David Bover. Kieran Ellis Brackbill. Timothy Michael Britt. Benjamin Daniel Carey. Alex John Karen. Jimmy Ha Choa. Ross Michael Clapper. Justin Edward Collins. Mark Edward Consalvi. Adam Keith Cromack. James Patrick Duncan Deegan. Brandon William DeFreitas. Ian Michael DeRochers. Albert Ding. John Greenwood Doherty. Nicholas Stephen Ferry. Christopher Sean Filkowski. Michael Brian Fuller. Eric Edward Gollins. Thiago Jabrim Gonçalves. Gregor David Gregorian. Garen Barclay Hamill. Joseph John Hyder. Scott Douglas Higgins. Kyle Roarke Huntington. Samer Yasser Ibrahim. Emmanuel Kakis III. Michael Thomas Khirallah. John Thomas Krieger. Scott Eric Liedberg, Jr. Ryan Kenneth Leonard. Douglas Thaddeus Maffetone. Joseph Carl Maiolano. David Louis Manuzza. Sean Ives Marden. Kevin Russell Mark. Nicholas Mazzeo. Kenneth Michael McCumber. James Walter Michelini. Ronnie Michael. Gregory Alexander Morse. Corey Kyugi Moy. Ryan Benjamin Noyes. Charles Michael O'Donnell, Jr. Seamus Finbar O'Shaughnessy. Andrew Wilson Pacino. Daniel Charles Pickett. Peter Powers. Peter Ryan Quigley. Daniel Brian Raisbeck. Patrick Daniel Ranigan. Kenneth John Santos. Achal Uday Shah. Scott Mark Sheehan, Jr. Philip Edward Steinman. Jesse Philip Tang Kong. Christopher Stanley Taverna. Craig Winston Torigian. Alexis Tran. Anthony Paul Tran. Michael John Troy. Kenneth John Underwood. Jeremy Joseph Velasquez. Adam Michael Wyman. Travis Allen Whitehouse. Kevin Leo Worcester. The president of the Chelmsford High School class of 2008, Jeffrey Thomas Goulet.
Great job all day, all year, all 4 years. Okay, the grand finale.
Would the graduates please turn their tassels?
As soon as we start, we go, right?
That's right. As soon as the band starts, let's go. The band is. Got the band. We go first. Yeah, I'll go show.
Alumni march.
Here we go. Alumni march.